Jordan earns $78,000 a year. His colleague, Thomas, earns $62,000. 5 years from now, Jordan will have $4,200 in savings. Thomas will have $47,000. Same economy, same city, same industry. And here is the part nobody tells you. The gap between them has almost nothing to do with income. It has everything to do with three invisible barriers. Barriers most people never learn to name, let alone overcome. Today, that changes. Most personal finance content will tell you to budget harder, spend less, cut the coffee. That is not wrong, but it is not the real conversation. The real conversation is about three mechanisms that quietly drain wealth from people who are, by every visible metric, doing everything right. People who work hard, people who are not reckless, people who, if you ask them, would say they are trying. This is exactly what we do here. We do not talk about the surface. We talk about the thinking behind the money.
2 years ago, Jordan got a raise. About $700 extra a month after taxes. He did not buy a sports car. He simply upgraded. A slightly nicer apartment, a newer car payment, a few more subscriptions. $700 of new income. $700 of new spending. And here is the part nobody tells you. There was no single moment where Jordan chose to inflate his lifestyle. It simply happened because the money was there and the money felt like permission. That $700 a month, invested consistently over 25 years at a modest 8% return, becomes $648,000. Not because of any sophisticated strategy, simply because of where he chose to route the money. The drift did not feel like a loss. That is what makes it so expensive. The antidote is a lifestyle lock. The moment your income increases, your savings rate increases first, before your spending adjusts. You automate the new contribution before your brain has the chance to normalize the new number. One decision made once is infinitely more reliable than the same decision made every single month. But the drift is only one barrier. The next one is quieter. And more expensive. Here is a question. Answer it honestly, not for me, but for yourself. When will you start investing seriously? If your answer was, when the market feels more stable, that is the wait. If your answer was, when I have a bit more saved first, that is the wait. If your answer was, when things settle down, that is the wait. The wait is not laziness. It is a rational response to uncertainty. The future feels too abstract to sacrifice the present for. But here is the part nobody tells you. The wait is not a neutral position. It has a cost. Thomas started investing $400 a month at 27. Jordan kept waiting until he felt ready and started at 34. Same amount, same return assumptions, same discipline. Thomas ends up with $312,000 more at retirement, not because he earned more, simply because he started 7 years earlier. Knowing the math and believing the math are two completely different psychological experiences. The antidote is a freedom baseline. You pick a number, not a perfect number, just a starting number, and you automate it today. Because the only way to bridge the gap between knowing and believing is to act before you feel ready. Barrier number 3 is the one personal finance almost never talks about, because it is not about behavior. It is not about math. It is about identity. Sarah knows the strategies. She has read the books. And yet every time she gets close to taking the next step, opening the account, increasing the contribution, something pulls her back. That something is not fear of the market. It is not a lack of information. It is a story she has carried since childhood. A quiet, unspoken belief. People like us do not build real wealth. We manage. We survive, but we do not build. Not a knowledge problem, not a strategy problem, an identity problem. And if the story you carry about who you are does not include someone who builds wealth, every action that contradicts it will feel wrong, like pretending, like it will not last. The antidote is not motivation. Motivation is temporary. The antidote is evidence. You take one small, concrete action, not because it makes you rich overnight, but because it proves to yourself that you are the kind of person who takes that action. Sarah did not out-earn the version of herself that stayed stuck. She outfought it. 3 barriers: the drift, the weight, the mirror. The people who build wealth are not smarter. They are not luckier. They simply learn to see these patterns for what they are. Not permanent truths, but patterns. And patterns can be interrupted. Here is what I want you to do tonight. Not this week, tonight. Pick the one barrier you recognized most in yourself. Write down one specific action that directly contradicts it. Automate $50. Open the account. Write a new sentence about who you are becoming. One action tonight. Drop that barrier and that one action in the comments.
I genuinely want to see what you are working against and what you are choosing to do instead. I will see you in the next one.